Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're actually going to check out the capability of the webMethods API gateway to transform a JSON response into another JSON response using XSLT. Usually, we've seen people using an XSLT to transform the XML payloads, either the request or the response. However, in this video, we're actually going to look at how an XSLT can be used to transform a JSON payload. So we'll start with a JSON of this form. This is a JSON payload of random animal fact. As part of the XSLT transformation, we're actually going to extract three attributes of interest and convert this into a new JSON which has a new root element and those extracted three child key value pairs. And we'll be using an XSLT to actually do this transformation. So to better understand how the transformation actually takes place, let's go to have a look at how the internals of the XSLT conversion takes place. So to start off, you have your original JSON. Now within the process of transforming the response, the JSON actually gets converted to an internal representation in the form of an XML. So as you can see over here, the JSON and a 1:1 mapping of the XML is uh, is provided. This can be done using any of you can use any tool to actually perform this conversion. But at any point in time, think of your JSON as being converted to an internal representation of an XML form. Now, of course, this might look very trivial now, but there are some corner cases where you have JSON array, single element array, and multi-array element in the form when it gets converted into um, your XML have different representations, and that's for another video. So for now, let's just assume the simple option of converting a JSON into an XML document. Now, once you have the XML structure, it's a matter of applying your normal XSLTs on the XML document. And once the XSLT is applied on your XML document, you then start thinking of your JSON in the following forms. So you have the tags of the XML. My animal fact get converted to a root JSON key. The another element, which is the name of the animal, is also now represented as another key value pair. In the similar manner, you have another attribute which is also extracted called the Latin name. And finally, another example is the value of the habitat, which is extracted and presented in the form of a value in the JSON response. So think of your original JSON being converted into the target JSON, and behind the scenes there's actually this XML internal conversion on which the XSLT is then applied. All right, so now let's have a look at how this is done on our API. Let's jump on to the API gateway. All right, so before we actually start looking at what's possible from the API gateway, let's have an understanding of what services we're actually going to consume. So this is the first API, which returns random details of animals and their scientific information. Mm, We also have an API that's hosted on the gateway, which virtualizes the same API, and it returns the details of the animals, the same, pretty much the same API itself. Now we're going to actually modify this API to start uh, processing the JSON using XSLT. Let's log into the API gateway. You would have seen now I'm using the 10.11 version of the API gateway. Earlier I was using the 10.5 API gateway for all my videos. But from now on I'm planning to actually use the 10.11. So let's come into the API. This is the name of the API. We'll navigate into the policies. Let's edit the API. Now in the response processing stage, this is where actually you can play around with the response. I'm going to actually incorporate the policy called response transformation. It's always easy to work with this panel if it's in full screen. So let's navigate around here and understand some of these controls. So the header transformation allows you to, of course, modify the header while responding back. Status allows you to modify the HTTP status codes. And here is where our topic of interest is, the payload transformation. So here, there is an option to modify the payload directly using JSON. You have also advanced capability, which is the XSLT option that we're going to opt in for. Let's click on it. Let's browse and choose our XSLT. I have the XSLT already keyed in. I'll be sharing the details of the XSLT on my GitHub account. I'll add the XSLT into the option. Remember to click on this OK button, or it won't save the policy. Finally, let's click on save. Now we have the XSLT already in place, and obviously while the response returns from the routing policy, it gets processed by the response processing stage. Let's jump back into Postman. You can see this is our API. Going to fire it again this time. Now you can see it has actually trimmed down the response to only the attributes that I'm interested in. So as you can see, this is one quick way of actually processing your JSON response and only extracting some important fields and making some minor modifications on the JSON response. Now this is an quick and easy tool that helps you to validate your XSLTs. So if you remember in my earlier presentation, I mentioned that the internal representation of the JSON, the raw JSON, is represented in this form, right? Now here is the XSLT that I've just uploaded. As you can see, I can remove a certain tag or a certain XSLT rule, and it automatically reflects over here. You can pull out whichever field that you want. Let's say, for example, the diet. See, I pulled out the diet. I changed my XML tag to diet, and I go and search for the diet field. So now if you were to pass in this XSLT to the API gateway, you'll get a JSON representation of this form. So this is a useful website which can help you to actually do a quick transformation and verification of your XSLT. And this capability of the gateway to do simple yet powerful transformations on the gateway itself is quite useful. However, I'd use it cautiously. I wouldn't recommend to use it for heavy lifting transformation. The capability is available, you could use it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong in doing it. But when it comes to maybe heavier transformations, like iterating through large list of rows, or things like that, I wouldn't actually opt in to use an XSLT. I would say to just go directly to your integration server, do the necessary transformation, and come back. But when you have simple things like, maybe just changing the name of the attribute or maybe concatenating two fields, you could use the XSLT to do that. So I hope this has been quite informative for you. So thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'd like to hear back from you in the comments. Thank you.